Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Mediumcore. Today I'm going to be putting a small build just right in here, and it's only going to take one episode. In this episode I'm going to be building a small carriage house right here, meant for the royal family, and then in the next episode I'll build a greenhouse over here, and then I'll surround the entire thing with walls, and I will never come back to this spot ever again, because I spent a lot of time here. There's only two episodes left, because I'm probably going to do greenhouse and the walls in the same episode, because doing just walls isn't much of an episode alone, and greenhouse isn't going to be that hard. But the carriage house will take a bit longer, so that gets its own episode, and then I'll be done with the entire royal estate project, and I can move on to the rest of these. But yeah, I'm going to start with the carriage house. What I want to do is have a big open area here for the carriage, and then a tall, thin spot next to it, kind of like this section of the gatehouse, but thinner, and a little bit shorter too, so it can fit into this space with a wall. But yeah, that's today's episode. I've laid down just a little template of what the build is going to look like. Nothing particularly large. I did have to push the wheat farm back just a little bit. It falls all in line with this level of dirt now. I had to push back just a little bit so that I can have the wall come in around here. But then this is what's going to be the carriage house. Originally I'd wanted this part to be smaller than the main building, but because of size constraints, that would not work. That would make this too small, and I couldn't make this any bigger because I have to fit a wall back here. But got just a little doorway to walk in. There will be just a little living quarters. Probably upstairs will be the living quarters, and then this is where the carriage will be. This will probably be some shelves right here, and this will be a big open gate for the carriage to come out. And I had to get back out my materials box for this one, and it's kind of weird seeing it start with this material and not the stone, and I might actually change that later on, but until then, we'll see. It looks a little funky, but this is the main structure for the carriage house. I'm not sure how much I like not having the stone on the bottom, but at the same time it kind of gives the build nice uniformity that I like. It's kind of inspired by this build, but also by this. It's obviously a lot smaller. Inside's currently empty. There's going to be a floor right there, though. And then we got the door out here. And it'll look better once all of this is in place, but just got a big window there. Nothing on this side because it's going to connect over to here, where the carriage house will be. No window on the back because it's not much of a view. But then got some windows on the side. It doesn't look the greatest from the side, I'll admit that, but that won't be a problem because there will be a wall there. And then it looks good enough from the front. Not sure how much I like the top, but it is what it is. It doesn't look terrible. So yeah, that's the living portion of that. Now I just gotta work on the carriage part. This extension turned out much better than expected. All I need left to do is the interiors for both, and then that's this entire thing done. And what's kind of funny is it's not actually that small of a build, but it's just so dwarfed by everything around it, especially just looking at it next to the mansion, it is so dwarfed. But it's not horribly small. I mean, it's not big, but it's not small. And it's gonna look a bit smaller too, though, because I'm gonna put a big old carriage in it, and some shells and some other things, and that'll just finish up this build once and for all. So let's get going, shall we? It ain't great, but it's the best I could do. I'm not very good at stuff like this, and I had no idea how to go about building a carriage, but I did my best. It's got some banners on it for color, and those banners at the back it's supposed to seem like they're just on top of the carriage, not on the wall. But this is where the driver would sit. The reins would go around this post to keep them tied to the carriage, and then the horses would be out here. Because I didn't make a stable, I've decided that they leave the royal horses behind for their own safety and just use the horses that the city provides. And then it's just a little seating area inside with a nice, somewhat open roof. There's a door on the other side with a ladder to get up. I didn't know what to do for wheels, so I just did trapdoors. And I don't think it looks that great, but I don't know what else to do for wheels. And over here we got the shelves. There's a nice little frame there going. The leashes for the horse. The leads, not leash. Shears to keep the horses trimmed, and an axe in case they ever get stuck or something. And inside, we've just got a simple carpet, a little desk, and upstairs there's a wardrobe and then a triple bed, as all of the stable master's family has to all sleep in the same bed because it's medieval times, and that's not uncommon. But that's that. And now I have 2 minutes to kill, so I'm gonna take a look at this from other angles, because as the build is starting to get completed with more and more stuff, such as the carriage house, it's looking better and better. It looks more and more complete, and I just can't wait to see it with the greenhouse and with the wall surrounding it. It looks so good from this angle. The mansion's a little flat, but that's okay, because it does look really cool from this distance. And then the gatehouse looks really nice, and the carriage house is a nice addition on the side. I'm really liking how this whole area is turning out so far. It's just so much bigger than the rest of the base. It just dwarfs everything else. But I'm actually going to get up higher and get an even better view. Oh yeah, there's still dirt pillars here from when I was moving villagers. I should probably get rid of those at some point, because those aren't the greatest. But oh, the iron golem farm is working. What a nice sight. Oh, this view is wonderful. How have I never noticed that? Anyway, this view is gorgeous. Seeing the mansion in all its glory, as well as the gatehouse and the carriage house. Soon there'll be a greenhouse as well and a wall. The mansion does look really, really flat, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. It's made up for by just how amazing all this looks. And it looks so good compared to the rest of the base too. It all fits so well, it's so nicely together. And I'm really glad I decided to do this first before I filled out the rest of this road, because I think this is a great place to start and work backwards, so that I always have something to fill in, so it's not moving outwards. I have two endpoints and working through, so I know what to do. I know what sizes I can make, and I know a general style. think it's all turned out well. And I think this project has turned out well so far, and I think this carriage house turned out as well as it could, considering I'm not great at building carriages. But that's that, and that's all I'm gonna do for today's episode of Minecraft Mediumcore. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.